This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Welcome to the Reimagine India Hour. It's brought to you by Visa. In this hour, every Monday and Wednesday, we connect with the stalwarts and change makers of the country from various walks of life who are reimagining India through their initiatives. An India that is transforming public places with street art, increasing green cover with vertical gardens, transforming, celebrating festivals without noise, transforming thought patterns. An India where we can promise our children a better future. Pleased to welcome Anthony Gomes. He's the director in the Furtados group of companies. And really, what a spectacular legacy. We're talking them completing 150 years of, music instruction and music training, music expertise. So essentially, they were established in 1865 and they finished 150 years in 2015. Great to see you. How are you doing, Anthony? Welcome to the show.
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Rush us through this excellent, rich history of yours, of the Furtado group of companies. So who established the company, and then was it passed on from generation to generation?
So it was established by Bernard Xavier Furtado, BX Furtado, in 1865. He was actually also the founder of the famous St. Xavier's School at Fort. And it stayed in the family for several generations. But my dad bought the business in 1953, when at the time it had gone into bankruptcy and was sold by the collector of Mumbai, and my dad purchased it at an auction. So it's been in our family since 1953, and it's now the second generation of our family that's helming Furtados.
So in 1953, when your dad first took over the business, was it only about music instruction? Was it about instruments? Take me through the journey in terms of how many verticals you've grown since then.
So actually, the business that my dad bought in 1953 was dealing in Christian religious goods. There were two branches of the Furtados group at that time, BX Furtado and LM Furtado. Dad bought the business of BX Furtado in 1953 and acquired LM Furtado, which was the music business, in 1959. And at the time, and for many decades thereafter, principally the main business was musical instruments, import, distribution, retail, and printed music books, which has been our hallmark and claim to fame for many years. It's only in 2011 that the music education vertical per se was started. So we were always very, very closely involved in music education through our instruments business and the support we extended to it. But music education as a vertical of Furtados, that is Furtado School of Music, was started in 2011.
And I suspect, Anthony, that you might have had a fair share in the construction of that, because for those of you who didn't know, Anthony is a violinist, a former member of the Bombay Chamber Orchestra, and he's also regional coordinator for Western India for the Trinity College of Music, London. And they have, I'm given to understand, all these exchange programs where, instructors come in and take those exams. Yeah,
that's right. Trinity is a very large international examinations board, and we conduct over 30,000 exams in Western India every year, where students give exams in music, in drama, and in English language. In fact, Mumbai is the single largest center for Trinity worldwide.
Yeah. So, like I said, I suspect that you might have had a fair share in that. So, was it one of your goals when you took an active interest in the business that you wanted this to extend to music instruction?
So actually, we've always aspired to have a music education vertical. Our greatest impediment, if I may use the word, at the time and for many years, was the fact that the core of our clientele is really the music teachers of Mumbai and the rest of India. They're very loyal customers. We enjoy really great relationships with them. And we were a bit intimidated about setting up our own school of music, should it in some way cause them concern about sending their students to Furtados to shop and then being assailed with promotions of Furtado School of Music, which could be a conflict. But after some time, we realized that there was need for structured music education. Regrettably, that has been lacking in our country for many, many years. And so we bit the bullet and took the plunge in 2011. And I'm pleased to say it's been a very big success since.
This is Yes Sir I Can Boogie, some disco for the morning by Bakara, and back on the Reimagine India hour with Anthony Gomes. He's director at Furtados. It's 9:04. My name is Hrishikesh. We're streaming live video on www.facebook.com/radio1.mum, RADIOONE.mum. Only if you're not driving, you're in the backseat of a chauffeur-driven car or a radio taxi, or at home or office without a radio set. Still streaming live audio across the nation on www.onecast.in online. That's numeral 1cast.in. And of course, on your radio sets here in Mumbai City, 94.3 on the FM band. Back in a bit.
Hashtag Reimagine India with Hrishikesh. Brought to you by Visa. You reimagine India, Visa reimagines payments.
Bakara, Yes Sir I Can Boogie at 9:09 on the Reimagine India hour. It's Anthony Gomes, who's director at Furtados. Because You Love Music is their byline. That's what they've coined. And we're talking about their life, what they're into, their various verticals. And Anthony himself, an accomplished musician.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Now, talk to me about music book publishing. I mean, I believe in 2011, you launched a publishing joint venture with one of the world's leading music book publishers, and that obviously has turned out to be very, very fruitful for you. Talk me through that.
So see, typically for many years now, printed music has been rather expensive because it's been printed overseas. And regrettably, because of the lack of regulations in our country, there's been rampant photocopying, misuse of copyrights, etc. In order to make print music more affordable, we entered into this joint venture, which actually took almost 5 to 6 years to finally ink, with all the paperwork and the lawyers having a field day drawing up the joint venture agreement. But since then, we've been able to publish many, many titles from overseas in an Indian edition at a considerably lower price, plus publish some Bollywood books, and are keenly looking to publish Indian composers and give them an international platform. So that has proved very beneficial. It's not big money, but it's a significant contribution to improving the quality of print music availability and education, which is quite vital for music students in our city.
So are we talking tutors, technique books? Give me the wide variety.
Yes, primarily tutors and technique books. Some all-time favorites that we republish here at a very good price, but many new books as well that are being created for our market, compilations from various sources, so as to cater to, our tastes, our Indian tastes and requirements. So quite a wide swathe of options.
Lovely. And I'm given to understand that these books are not just sold on ground, but also online, and you have a vital presence online right now.
Yes, our e-commerce presence is growing continuously and almost every day, and print music, accessories, all those sort of items are increasing in demand online. Furtadosonline.com is a very viable option for us. So also is Amazon, which provides a very good platform to make available all these products.
So it's Furtadosonline.com. Yeah,
that's right.
And at last count, how many on-ground stores are there?
17. Yeah.
And this would be around the country? Or
around the country, yes. North and south. Not so much in the east, although we do have one franchisee in Dimapur, but primarily in western, southern and northern India.
Wow, that's absolutely fabulous. And there's also an all-India piano competition and festival. And this is in memory, is it in memory of your dad?
Yes, that's right.
So tell me how that's going.
So that's going very well. It's in its 9th year. We've been able to attract a lot of interest among good young pianists of a very high standard to enter for this competition year in and year out. The finals, the semi-finals and finals are held at the NCPA every year. It's a big festival, often of a week's duration, with a lot of concerts, visiting artists, visiting judges from overseas. And we're delighted that in recent years, the number of Indian participants, especially those who emerged through the competition process, and not just pianists, but of all other instruments as well, has been increasing significantly, so much so that they now form the major part of a major number of performers at the festival and the competition.
So this is in its 9th year now.
Yes.
Yeah. And what kind of workshops does one see there other than, the mainstream competition?
Yes, so because we invite judges and pianists of considerable repute from overseas, some of whom are actually the main attraction of the festival, we're able to conduct workshops, master classes where students perform and then they get analyzed, taken apart to an audience, extremely beneficial and of great learning value. So these workshops happen on a regular basis. We also have a piano camp where the participants go away to Alibag for a few days, and apart from 5 pianos and a swimming pool, there's nothing else there.
Oh.
And they work on their work with these experts that come from overseas.
And this is a Furtados property, yeah?
The property in Alibag, regrettably, is not a Furtados property, but the concept is, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we're happy to read out all your comments. So if you have any questions, please let us know about it. One space your comment or one space your question and your name. Type it and send it to 53650. 53650 is the in-studio SMS line. On Twitter as well as Facebook, you go to the search bar, you type HRISHIKAY, verified Twitter handle and a Facebook page will pop up. You tweet out your question or comment along with your name, or you post on the timeline inbox on Facebook along with your name. Facebook.com/radio1.mum is our official page, and once you post a comment or a question on the timeline along with your name or inbox, I'll bring it up on the show. It's Cool in the Gang, fresh. Post this some messages, and then we're back with Anthony Gomes, director of Furtados. Keep yourself busy. You're not going to hear us for about 10 minutes.
Hashtag Reimagine India with Hrishikesh. Brought to you by Visa. You reimagine India, Visa reimagines payments.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Welcome back to the Reimagine India Hour, brought to you by Visa. Change makers in studio, people who are stalwarts in their respective fields. Anthony Gomes is director at Furtados, and we're talking a 150-year legacy, and we're talking about their various verticals. Streaming live on video now on Twitter as well as Periscope at HRISHIKAY. Continuing to stream audio online across the nation, www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in. And of course, 94.3 FM on your radio sets and statutory warning. Only if you're not driving, please catch our video feed. So the FSM, the Furtados School of Music, I'm very excited. Talk to me about how many standalone institutes there are and how you go about this whole thing.
So we have 4 brick and mortar setups in Mumbai where we have students registering for courses and providing education from as young as 3 years old all the way up to, nonagerians. Furtados School of Music's main offering is also going into schools, academic schools. We offer the curriculum plus the entire faculty, and we now have music education being offered, delivered by Furtados School of Music in many mainstream academic schools as part of the curriculum, as opposed to an extracurricular activity that perhaps is sometimes the case in some schools. In many schools in Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, and in interior parts of Maharashtra. So that's an important step forward for us, because we are now introducing music as a formal subject to young students, getting them interested in it rather than just taking it up as a hobby. And we hope that over time some may pursue it as a profession because of the good grounding that they get in the school curriculum that they receive from Furtados.
So wonderful. So it's almost as though you adopt the school, the gear, the equipment and the teachers are yours. Is that the way it works?
That's right.
Yeah,
so there are different models depending on the ability of the school to invest. Some invest in the gear, some we provide them on a loan or on an arrangement that, is tailor-made for them. The principal objective is to ensure that very good gear is available. There are some schools which have a full piano lab with 20 pianos there, and 20 students learning how to play the piano on a regular basis every week per class for several hours a day. So we are able to reach many such students. In fact, 600 to 700 students per school, and we're in almost 75 to 80 schools around the country now.
Brilliant.
And growing.
What are the courses you have at the Furtados School of Music? Part-time as well as full-time?
So principally it's for piano, electronic keyboard, guitar, drum kit, violin and the stringed instruments, and singing vocals. So these are the principal courses currently being offered. they're constantly being added on. Certainly, Indian musical instruments will come about in the not too distant future, and brass and woodwind and other such instruments as well.
And these are what? What would the course duration be? Would there be 6 weeks?
So we have various durations. We do have something as short as for just 3 months in order to be able to give the potential student an opportunity to try it out, then renew and stay on. Otherwise, people do it on an annual basis. We have several concerts during the year, an annual concert at the end, internal assessment, examinations, so that people have a valuable certificate to put away. And many of them also then offer Trinity College examinations.
Lovely. I'm intrigued. The Furtados Institute of Piano Technology. Now, this commenced operations in June of 2012, I'm told.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
So, the true claim to fame for Furtados for over a century and a half has been primarily its print music, the music books, and its pianos sales. We've been a very big source, important source for pianos for customers all around the country. But our biggest challenge has been providing good after-sales service, because it was not a good infrastructure did not exist after the British left India in 1947. All the tuners left with it, and we had to depend on one or two very good resources in Mumbai. But as our numbers grew, regrettably, we didn't have enough of tuners. So we set up this Institute of Piano Technology in 2012. We invited two very accomplished professionals from the UK to shift to Mumbai, lock, stock and barrel, and they ran this program for 2 years. We produced 18 piano technicians, awarded them a diploma at the end of it. They're now of world-class standard, and we placed them in various parts of the country. Not all of them, because we didn't have need for all of them. In fact, a couple of our competitors also sent students to train with us, and we were very happy to provide the training to them too. And now I can say with much confidence and pleasure that we offer very, very good quality after-sales service, because when we sell pianos, it's imperative in the climatic conditions that prevail in the various parts of our country that they be well maintained, and for that you need regular attention to the pianos and of a very high quality, which we can now provide.
The Counting Crows, Sheryl Crow, American Girls, back with the director of Furtados, Anthony Gomes, right after this song. American Girls by the Counting Crows, along with Sheryl Crow at 9:38. Anthony Gomes, director at Furtados, is here talking about music education, music book publishing, and a whole lot more. More conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
I'm given to understand that you have this wonderful facility in Siri where you're actually restoring certain pianos, and one of them would be a grand piano from Pune. Talk me through that.
Yes, so this Steinway grand piano is owned by the Pune Music Society, a historical instrument that has seen better days, and they were keen to have it restored. We have this wonderful piano restoration workshop in Surrey, headed by an Englishman, David Smallman, who runs it for us, and several technicians who he trains and who work under him. And apart from the Steinway from Pune, we do several other instruments, some as simple as people's home pianos, which all need repair and restoration in this facility in Surrey.
Now, as regional coordinator for Western India for the Trinity College London, what are your various roles?
Well, primarily administering and managing the operations for these examinations. We have a lot of exams being conducted, over 30,000 in Western India. That means examiners in Mumbai, in Pune, and in several other parts of Western India, almost round the clock, all the time. It includes timetabling, scheduling, providing academic support to teachers so that they prepare the students well for exams, providing post-examination support in terms of results, certificates, resolving problems and queries. There's also an element of promotion, because we do want to get these exams more widely availed of, and so we have several academic support events and teacher training and workshops, all of which is almost a full-time job, but actually it's just a part-time job.
Yeah. Now, you were a violinist in the Bombay Chamber Orchestra.
Yeah.
Give me what would be your favorite piece, which you've played or not played but just love?
Well, it's the Max Bruch Violin Concerto, which I think is a very beautifully written, extremely moving piece of violin solo performance that I love watching, regrettably do not play. And it is my favorite piece. Yeah.
Whenever I think of young children sitting at their piano and playing the violin, I've always thought that, the right amount of nurturing has to be given to a child. How early do you think children should start their music education? You did say to me off the mic, it's not football, but certain instruments require children to start at a very young age.
Yeah, giving them exposure as early as possible is wonderful, because before learning an instrument, having an opportunity to play with small percussion instruments through an ensemble, playing with friends and other colleagues from as early as the age of 2 and 3 would be an ideal time to start. But to actually pick up an instrument, unless you're a child prodigy, perhaps 5 years old would be an ideal age.
I believe the entire family is involved in the Furtados business. So tell me about this wide, extended, wonderful family of yours. You were all featured in the Forbes India magazine. A wonderful feature that they did on you. Let the radio audiences know.
Well, yes, we're 4 siblings, myself, my brother Christopher, my sister Nonabel, and my brother Joseph. Joseph's wife Tanuja is also very involved in our business, and we take care of various departments and verticals in the business. My brother Christopher takes care of the entire financial operations. Joseph is in IT and communications, because that's very relevant today. And my sister Nonabel is in HR and admin. I handle strategy and operations. My sister-in-law Tanuja handles the Furtados School of Music vertical. It's been her brainchild, and with her colleague Dharani Upadhyay, they've brought it to what it is today.
So, what are family dinner conversations like? Is it all about music?
It's nothing about music and nothing about business. It's usually about football.
Yeah. Is there an overwhelming favorite club, or
No, there are rival clubs at the dinner table. Yes,
what would be yours?
Mine is Arsenal. Not very much to say about nowadays.
These days, yes, of course. Yeah. Do you think Arsene Wenger should hang on for much longer? Yeah.
Well, the romantic in me would like him to, but I think pragmatically, I think his time has come.
It's time
now.
to go, yeah. The Chainsmokers break up every night. Up ahead, a last leg of conversation with director of Furtados, Anthony Gomes, where he's going to tell us how he reimagines India. Your last chance to get some questions in here and now, yeah? Or some comments. I'm happy to read it out on air. 1 space your comment, or 1 space your question and name to 53650 on SMS. On Twitter as well as Facebook, you go to the search bar, you type HRISHIKOY. I will pop up. You could tweet out along with your name, or post in the timeline inbox along with your name. And Facebook.com/radio1.mum, our official page. There again, comments and questions along with your name on the timeline or inbox. Welcome. So, we'll see you in less than 10 minutes for Anthony's Reimagine India piece.
#Reimagine India with Hrishikesh. Brought to you by Visa. You reimagine India, Visa reimagines payments.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Back with Anthony Gomes, his director at Furtados and the Reimagine India Hour. Sameer Attarwala on Facebook, the only place in Mumbai in the early 90s where I had to go and buy musical instruments. Keep up the good work. Good morning. Anjali Sequera, so proud of the good work at Furtados. How do young musicians get to register their songs? Maybe Furtados can lead the way. That's music publishing. You do music book publishing. But any ideas? Have you thought of, that vertical?
So basically, registering your song would require you to go to a record company and get yourself published in that respect. Otherwise, the minute you create it, it is your property and you have your copyright to it. There is no, you can assert your copyright on it.
And as of now, you're not looking to start a record label?
No, not yet.
Okay. Dennis Tarapurwala, please say a warm hello to Anthony from me. I remember his awesome violin playing. We're also schoolmates. I hope he's coming for the old Campionites dinner tomorrow. That's March 15th night. Are you?
Regrettably, no, Dennis. Sorry.
You're traveling or something. Yeah?
Yes, I am.
Ankit Desai, great seeing Anthony Gomes after a long time. And we've got one message on SMS. This is from your last 4 digits are 2547. Suraj Rosario. I'm from IC Church, and I remember back in the day, Furtados would let us borrow instruments for the church fates for free. Does that still happen, Anthony?
Yes, very much so. In fact, we have a very large backline inventory of instruments that we rent out for events, and almost 90% of the work we do is gratis. If you have an event event, a college event, an NGO, a fundraiser, as long as you're not making money, we will give you our gear for free. However, if you are, of course, ticketing the event and making money, then we do rent out professionally, and that's an important part of our business and makes it all possible. So we've been doing this for many years and continue to do so.
Ashish Contractor, Dr. Ashish Contractor. Lovely to hear Anthony on air. Furtados has contributed greatly to the music scene in the country. Extremely helpful and charitable to those who need it. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Ashish.
Okay, your hashtag Reimagine India piece. How do you, Anthony Gomes and Furtados, reimagine India?
So I would very much like to stick to my subject topic, which is music and culture. I would love to reimagine India as a place where young kids have an opportunity to explore arts and culture in the school setup, which regrettably is very much missing today. Just as there is so much focus on academics, it would be lovely if our education system also focused on, in addition to sports, arts and culture, providing our students with wonderful facilities on campus to expose themselves to various arts. India is so rich in its own traditional heritage, dance and music, and Western music as well, so that we have a well-rounded personality of young adult Indians emerging in this generation and the next generation.
Wonderful. Anthony Gomes, Director Furtados, some great ideas on how he would reimagine India, just like Visa is reimagining payments by offering various new ways to pay. Dip to pay with debit and credit cards, tap to pay with contactless cards, scan to pay with Bharat QR, or click to pay on e-commerce sites. Now, you have an opportunity to win a movie voucher, courtesy Visa 94.3 Radio 1. Tell us how you would reimagine India. Get onto SMS, type 1 space how you would reimagine India, space your name, send it to 53650. 53650 is the in-studio SMS line. On Twitter as well as Facebook, you go to the search bar, type HRISHIKAY, hashtag reimagine India, and then tell me how you'd like to reimagine India along with your name on Twitter, and post on the timeline inbox on Facebook. Facebook.com/radio1.mum is our official page. There again, hashtag reimagine India. You could also tag at Visa IND, at Visa IND in your posts. You could post on the timeline inbox how you would like to reimagine India. Before you go, just your website one last time, Anthony, where people can get in touch with Furtados.
Furtadosonline.com. Thank you.
This has been such a wonderful experience. Thank you very much, and more power to you. Cheers.
Thank you, Hrishi. Thank you.
New Kids on the Block, hanging tough.
Hashtag Reimagine India with Hrishikesh. Brought to you by Visa. You reimagine India. Visa reimagines payments.